Hey NFL fans, before we dive into today's hottest stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. From NFL News Now, the Philadelphia Eagles are once again at the center of one of those NFL storms that somehow turn a victory into a debate about everything else except the win itself. Monday night's clash with the Green Bay Packers was gritty, tense, and defensive to the core. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't the high-octane offensive show that fans of UNSIGNED Hurts and ASJr have come to expect. But it was a win, a 10-7 grinded-out battle that showed why the Eagles are sitting atop the NFC. Yet, instead of celebrating a defense that suffocated Jordan Love and kept Green Bay to a single touchdown, or recognizing that Philadelphia now holds the best record in the conference, the conversation has drifted towards something else entirely. Emmanuel Acho's fiery comments about Hurts and Brown, and the supposed incompatibility between quarterback success and wide receiver satisfaction. Acho, a former Eagles linebacker turned analyst and provocateur on Speakeasy, dropped a take that's been echoing across sports talk circles all week. He said, "What works for UNSIGNED Hurts don't work for A.J. Brown, and what works for A.J. Brown don't work for UNSIGNED Hurts." He went even further, suggesting that UNSIGNED Hurts winning means A.J. Brown not eating. It's one of those sound bites tailor-made for social media. A line that cuts deep enough to trend, regardless of its accuracy, and predictably, it did just that. Clips of Acho's take have been shared, stitched, and argued over on TikTok, X, and every Eagles fan forum on the planet. But when you peel back the layers, when you look at the actual numbers, and when you think about what this team has been through, that statement just doesn't hold up. Let's start with the obvious. A.J. Brown didn't have a good night against the Packers. 2 catches, 13 yards, that's the kind of stat line that raises eyebrows for a player of his caliber. He's one of the most physically dominant receivers in the league, and when the offense sputters, fans and analysts alike start asking questions about play calling, chemistry, and targets. But here's the context that Acho conveniently left out. Brown missed time with a hamstring injury. He was sidelined in Week 8 against the Giants and had the Week 9 bye to recover. Monday night's game was his first action in weeks, and hamstrings aren't something you just shake off. For a receiver whose entire game is built on explosive acceleration and physical separation, that injury lingers. Still, the idea that Hurts' success somehow comes at Brown's expense doesn't align with history. Go back just 1 year, 2022, the season that put Hurts on the MVP radar and Brown among the elite wideouts of the NFL. That year, Brown racked up 1,496 receiving yards, 88 catches, and 11 touchdowns. The Eagles went 14-3 and made it all the way to the Super Bowl. If Hurts winning means Brown isn't eating, then someone forgot to tell the scoreboard Dan the stat sheet. The duo followed that up in 2023 with nearly identical production, 1,456 yards and 106 receptions. That's not just productive, that's elite consistency, the kind of numbers that prove chemistry, not conflict. What Acho's take really exposes is the NFL's addiction to narratives. In today's sports media ecosystem, nuance doesn't trend. Saying Hurts and Brown are figuring it out after an injury and a defensive slugfest doesn't light up social media. But suggesting there's an internal tug-of-war between star players, that's the kind of storyline that keeps the clicks coming. It's the same cycle that has followed this Eagles team since the start of their resurgence. No matter what they do, win close, win ugly, when big, someone finds a way to turn it into a controversy. Maybe it's because Hurts doesn't talk like your typical star quarterback. Maybe it's because the Eagles' identity is built on balance, on distributing the load rather than forcing it to one superstar. Whatever the reason, they remain one of the most oddly discussed teams in the league. The truth is, winning teams evolve. The Eagles have built themselves around adaptability. When the offense stalls, the defense takes over. When the passing game isn't humming, they lean on the run game or the short yardage sneak that's become their signature move. This isn't a one-man show, and that's what separates them from teams that implode under pressure. Hurts doesn't need to throw for 300 yards every game for the Eagles to win, and Brown doesn't need double-digit targets to prove his worth. The measure of greatness for a team like this is the ability to win in different ways. Monday night proved exactly that, and yet, there's something undeniably human about what Acho is getting at. Even if his delivery missed the mark, wide receivers, especially top-tier ones like Brown, live on rhythm and trust. They want the ball because they believe they can change the game. That hunger isn't selfish, it's what makes them great. When that rhythm is disrupted, when targets dry up, frustration can bubble up. Even subconsciously, the great quarterbacks know this. They feed their playmakers early, not just to rack up stats, but to build confidence, to set a tone. Hurts knows that too. He and Brown have shown time and again that their connection runs deeper than a single box score. If anything, what Monday's win revealed is that the Eagles are rediscovering who they are when things aren't easy. Last season, it felt like everything came effortlessly. Hurts was gliding. Brown was bulldozing corners. And the defense was devouring quarterbacks. But this year has been about grit, injuries, scrutiny. And the weight of expectations have made every victory feel like a test of resilience. And so far, they're passing that test. 7 wins, a defense playing at an elite level, and an offense that, while inconsistent, still finds ways to close games. Those are the marks of a contender, not a team in crisis. Now, let's circle back to the notion that Hurts and Brown don't work together. That's simply revisionist history. From the moment Brown arrived in Philadelphia via that blockbuster trade, Hurts' game went to another level. Before Brown, Hurts was a promising dual-threat quarterback still learning the nuances of the position. After Brown, he became one of the most efficient passers in football. Their chemistry didn't just elevate the offense, it redefined it. Brown's physicality opened up the field for Devonta Smith. His presence forced defenses into single coverage against tight ends like Dallas Goedert. Hurts, in turn, learned how to trust his arm and timing more than ever before. That's symbiosis, not conflict. It's also worth noting that great duos in the NFL have ups and downs. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce have games where the connection feels off. Josh Allen and Stefon Diggs have had their share of sideline frustrations. But no one questions their compatibility when the wins keep coming. The Eagles are in that same category. The chemistry is there, the trust is there, and the results speak for themselves. Brown will get his rhythm back, the hamstring will heal, the timing will return, and when it does, this offense will look dangerous again. What Emmanuel Ako's comments really highlight is a bigger conversation about how we measure success in football in an era obsessed with fantasy stats and highlight reels. A 10-7 win feels unsatisfying to some, but football, at its core, is about surviving the grind. It's about doing just enough on offense and being suffocating on defense when it counts. The Eagles did exactly that. They faced a physical Packers team, took their punches, and still walked away with the W in a league where any given Sunday can flip a season. That's all that matters. Maybe the bigger story isn't that A.J. Brown didn't eat, but that the Eagles found another way to win while he gets back to full strength. Maybe it's that Jalen Hurts, criticized early in the season for turnovers and inconsistency, played a composed, mistake-free game that kept his team in control. Maybe it's that the defense, led by a ferocious front seven, reminded everyone why Philadelphia's identity still starts in the trenches. These are the kinds of wins that build championship DNA, not the 40-point blowouts, but the muddy, messy, hard-earned victories where every inch is fought for. And let's be honest, this narrative will vanish the moment Hurts and Brown connect for one of those deep highlight reel touchdowns that make fans jump off the couch. One explosive game, one dominant performance, and the same analysts calling them incompatible will be praising their chemistry again. That's just how the NFL media machine works. Hot takes burn bright and fade fast. What lasts are wins, and right now, the Eagles have plenty of those. So, if you're an Eagles fan, don't buy into the noise. Don't let a one-game stat line or a headline take away from what this team is building. Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown have already proven what they can do together. The chemistry isn't broken, it's just being tested. And when tested, great teams, great players, and great connections find a way to rise. The Eagles are 7-2, leading the NFC, and playing like a team that knows how to win when it matters most. That's what counts. The rest, just background chatter in a season that's far from over. If anything, Monday night's win wasn't a warning sign, it was a statement. A statement that this team doesn't need perfection to dominate. That even when A.J. Brown isn't lighting up the stat sheet, his presence still shapes the game. That Jalen Hurts' maturity and composure continue to grow, and that Emmanuel Ako's latest hot take, while entertaining, is just another reminder that people will always find something to talk about. When a team's winning too much, the Eagles don't care about feeding narratives. They're focused on feeding that win column, and right now, that's exactly what they're doing. Keep watching as we analyze more details about some rumors, The NFL world is buzzing this morning with whispers that have already started echoing through the halls of Lincoln Financial Field and beyond. Rumor has it, and let's stress the word rumor here, that ASJr, one of the most talked about defensive backs in the league over the past couple of seasons, has officially landed on Broad Street. That's right, folks, without a formal contract in place, he has reportedly arrived in Philadelphia, and sources close to the team suggest that his presence alone is already shaking things up in the Eagles' secondary. Now, before anyone hits pause or throws in a skeptical eyebrow raise, remember that in the NFL, movements like this don't just happen in a vacuum. There's strategy, there's intention, and there's a storyline that could rewrite the defensive narrative for this team almost overnight. The timing of ASJr's arrival is what has everyone talking. It's not just the middle of the season or the draft speculation period, it's a moment where the Eagles are evaluating their roster with meticulous scrutiny. Rumors circulating suggest that his uncontracted status is a tactical maneuver, a chess move by the front office. They know the defensive backfield has been a point of discussion among fans and analysts alike, with questions about depth, coverage consistency, and playmaking ability. ASJr, whose name has been linked to several playoff contending franchises over the past 2 years, is reportedly walking into a team hungry for reinvention in the secondary. Imagine the locker room dynamic, a high-profile talent arriving unexpectedly, generating energy, pushing veteran players to prove their worth, and creating a ripple effect that could redefine the Eagles' defensive philosophy. Insiders are already speculating on how this could impact the team's immediate strategy. The secondary has been a patchwork at times, relying on a combination of seasoned veterans and younger, developmental players. Bringing in ASJr, even just physically on Broad Street without the ink on the contract, signals to the locker room that management is serious about elevating this unit to a top-tier status. There are whispers that defensive coordinator strategies might be undergoing revisions behind closed doors, mapping out how to best integrate ASJr's skill set. Coverage schemes, blitz packages, and even practice rotations could be in flux, all centered on maximizing the potential impact of a player whose presence alone commands attention. It's the kind of energy that can galvanize a defense, inject urgency into practice sessions, and even shift the mindset of players who may have been complacent. What's particularly fascinating is the psychological angle of this move. Imagine the mental chess that occurs when a star player arrives in town, already generating media speculation, fan chatter, and locker room intrigue. All without a formal agreement. Players hear about it, coaches hear about it, and suddenly, there's an unspoken competition brewing. Veterans might feel their roles are under scrutiny, while younger players see an opportunity to learn, adapt, and rise to the occasion. Fans, of course, are quick to fuel the rumor mill, dissecting every social media post, every training camp observation, and every sideline camera angle for signs of interaction, leadership potential, or tension. The effect of ASJr's presence, rumor or not, goes beyond the X and O sit shaping culture, expectation, and narrative before a single snap has been officially played. From a broader league perspective, the storylines write themselves. ASJr has been a player whose talent and potential have been widely recognized, yet his journey has been marked by stops, starts, and moments of uncertainty. Landing in Philadelphia, even as a free agent in limbo, positions him in one of the league's most passionate football markets. The fans, known for their high expectations and fervent loyalty, are already speculating about what his impact could be. Analysts on national broadcasts are questioning how this move might influence the Eagles' defensive rankings, and social media chatter has exploded into threads debating coverage matchups, potential safety rotations, and the team's long-term defensive identity. It's one of those moments where rumor and reality blur, and the intrigue itself becomes a story worth following. There are also financial and contractual angles to consider, which make this situation even juicier. The fact that ASJr is reportedly in town without a formal contract suggests a negotiation window that could involve multiple variables, performance incentives, signing bonuses, guaranteed terms, and perhaps even position-specific clauses that allow flexibility in how the Eagles use him. League insiders suggest that such a setup could benefit both parties. The player gets to acclimate to the city, the staff, and the playbook while maintaining leverage in negotiations, while the team gets to evaluate his immediate fit, both on and off the field, before committing fully. It's an unconventional approach, certainly, but one that speaks to the changing dynamics of how NFL front offices are willing to innovate in talent acquisition, especially when it comes to high-impact defensive players. Meanwhile, the ripple effect is already being felt across the league. Rival teams are reportedly taking notice, recalculating coverage schemes when facing the Eagles, and considering how this unconfirmed addition could disrupt defensive game plans. The beauty of the situation is that, even without a signed contract, the mere possibility of ASJr playing in Philadelphia this season introduces uncertainty for opponents. It's a strategic gambit that extends beyond the team's own locker room. The rumor itself becomes a tool in shaping perception, leveraging competitive advantage, and influencing decisions on the field long before a game clock ever starts. As the story develops, fans are left on edge, speculating endlessly about what comes next. Will ASJr sign imminently, making his arrival official and turning rumor into reality? Or is this part of a more complex negotiation, a slow burn that keeps everyone guessing and maintains maximum intrigue? Either way, the narrative is unfolding in real time, with every social media post, every training session, and every insider whisper feeding into a broader picture that could redefine the Eagles' defensive landscape. One thing is clear: the secondary, as we knew it, might never be the same. Whether he steps onto the field as a full-fledged Eagle or remains a tantalizing phantom in the wings, ASJr's presence on Broad Street is already altering dynamics, shaping conversations, and fueling one of the most fascinating storylines the NFL offseason or in-season rumor mill has seen in years. In the end, this is exactly the kind of moment that reminds us why we love following the NFL beyond the scores. It's not just about who wins or loses, but about the stories, the personalities, the behind-the-scenes drama that makes the game so magnetic. ASJr in Philadelphia, uncontracted but unmistakably present, is a perfect storm of talent, intrigue, and anticipation. It's the kind of scenario that makes fans lean closer to their screens. Analysts speak in hushed tones, and insiders savor every detail, rumor or reality, fact or speculation. It doesn't matter, the buzz is real, the impact is imminent, and the Eagles' secondary is in the spotlight like never before, if nothing else. This unfolding story is a testament to the fact that in the NFL, sometimes the rumor itself carries as much weight as a touchdown pass, a sack, or a game-winning interception. And for anyone watching closely, the best chapters are still to come. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow NFL fans. Stay tuned for more updates, only here on NFL News Now.